It's the Monday after Father's Day. Happy Monday. It is June 17th, and happy post Father's Day. Here on the Just Baseball Show, we are doing the weekend roundup. Get those fingers going, Jack McMullen. That's Jack. I'm Peter, and we're going to go through every single series from the past weekend to fill you in. I'm going to give you the recap. Jack's going to give you a takeaway.
I'm
A
probably going to
takeaway from
smile.
each
Just going to
series
smile.
and a smile. And it's all brought to you by BetMGM, the king of sportsbooks. All you got to do, download BetMGM on iOS or Android and use code JUSTBASEBALL. Why? First bet offer up to $1,500 back in bonus bet. So if you place a bet after using code JUSTBASEBALL on standard odds, you'll get it paid back in bonus if it loses. And if it wins, nothing happens, up to $1,500. Make sure to take advantage on BetMGM and use code JustBaseball. Must be 21 or older. Terms and conditions apply. Gambling problem? Call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Jack, how was your weekend, brother?
It was good. The Indians were playing the Shrimp, so they were down in Jacksonville, and I put my feet up and watched a ton of ball. And the problem is, I got home on Saturday night, and I was geared up and ready to go for Yamamoto and Lugo. Damn it! And then I'm geared up. I got Mookie on the other screen. Damn it! Like it, we're in a bad spot. But you know what? Let's go through the roundup.
And we'll talk about the Dodgers against the Royals. I think we got them uploaded as our 10th series. Remember, we got 15 series to go through. Again, I'm going to give you a quick recap. Jack's going to give you a takeaway. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. And we will start Cardinals versus Cubs. Cardinals win the series 2-1, and we start in game one where the Cardinals won 3-0. We got a couple of bombs, but it was really the Kyle Gibson show. 7 innings, shutout baseball. Jordan Wicks removed early with a grade 2 right oblique strain. Definitely not good for the Cubs. But in game two, they won 5-1. Ian Happ with a 3-run shot in the 7th. Shota Imanaga just continues to dominate. 7 innings, only 1 run allowed, 6 strikeouts. Lowers his ERA to 1.89. I think it was like 1.93 entering the game. Just absurd. And in game 3, Cardinals get the win 2-1. Another 2-run shot from, is it Pages or Pajes? Page or Pajes? Pajes. That's what I thought it was, but I wanted to make sure with my main man, Jack. 2-run shot from him. Miles Michaelis, 6 1/3, 1 earned, 5 strikeouts. Cardinals move to 35-35. Cubs fall to 34-38. Jack, is your takeaway the fact that with 15-mile-an-hour wind blowing out, the Chicago Cubs offense scored 1 run against the Cardinals when they were facing Miles Michaelis?
Pretty much. My thought on this is simple. Are the Cubs not good? I know that you kind of posed a similar question a week and a half, 2 weeks ago,
I
but
literally am like, hey, I said it.
I know, but are they ever gonna hit? It's crazy. And I think the answer is no.
No.
I mean, they lose a 2-1 game. Tyone gives you a start where Cardinals only scored 2, man. It's crazy that Tyone is a losing pitcher when he gives you quality start at that point, right?
6 innings, 2 runs from Tyone. He was not the problem.
It was a
was
quality
the
start.
freaking Cubs offense.
All weekend long. Insane to me that they haven't clicked for even a 5-game stretch. And I'm starting to fully jive with you. They're 23rd in team OPS right now. It's the Cubs. They kind of spent. They brought Belly back. I don't know. It turns my brain into a pretzel. And I don't know what they're going to do at the deadline because the easy fill is bullpen help, right? Go and get a couple good relievers. You're going to lose every game 2-1.
And you need a lot of them. It's not just, one reliever is going to do the job. You need 3 or 4. And the reason I said the Cubs are just not that good on last week's rundown, I'm looking through their lineup. I'm looking through the rotation. I'm looking through the bullpen, and I say, all right, who are we game planning for in this lineup? Who's the big bopper? Because it ain't Bellinger anymore. Seiya is good in spurts, but Mike Tauchman can't be the guy. With all due respect to Mike Tauchman, he can't be the best hitter on your team. Dansby isn't hitting anything. Ian Happ has been painfully average. Christopher Morel We're still waiting for that 7 home runs in 11 games type streak that he always tends to do, but he hasn't done it, and his defense has been putrid. And then the bottom of the lineup is just auto outs. Michael Busch was standing on his head. He's not anymore. And then if it's not a show to start, because Steele hasn't been that Cy Young caliber pitcher that he was last year. He's still great. But if it's not a show to start, they don't really win.
No.
They're just not that good. I
So
hate to say it, but they aren't.
I got to get on Dansby for a moment.
Yeah.
You remember like the first 4 years of Dansby Swanson's career, pre-COVID year, 21 was his true breakout. And it kept leveling up. But we're 4 years into this guy's major league career, and we're saying like, hey, when's it going to start clicking? Right?
Offensively. Yeah.
First 4 years. Yeah. Defense has never been the problem.
Yeah.
First 4 years of his career, 16 through 19, he slashed 245, 318, 385. Okay. 207 games as a Chicago Cub. First 4 years of his career, 245, 318, 385. 207 games as a Cub, 236, 317, 399.
Ugh.
It's kind of the same thing. Got a 716 OPS in his first 207 games as a Chicago Cub. I'm just waiting for the Dansby of 21 and 22 that they signed to be here.
Also, haven't you noticed that Dansby is like a rally killer? I don't know what the stats are. I haven't looked it up, but I feel like his stats with runners in scoring position have got to be terrible. And maybe it's just when I turn on a Cubs game and I'm watching them. And remember, I should do a better job of looking into the numbers before I give this take. All I'm saying is that of the 20 or 30 Cubs games that I've watched this season, it does feel like Dansby Swanson, whenever there's a runner on, is either grounding out or just not doing his job. Were you able to find those stats?
Well, I see high leverage, 53 plate appearances and high leverage at this point for Dansby Swanson on Baseball Reference, slashing 143, 208, 265. So he's got a 473 OPS and 53 high leverage plate appearances.
That's why Peter Vision is the greatest stat known to man.
Yeah, fair.
I don't need the damn stats. I could see it with my eyeballs. Let's move to Tigers versus Astros. Astros needed this series win. They win 2-1 in game one. It starts with a 4-0 shutout. Mauricio Dubon hit a bomb. Jake Myers robbed a Riley Green home run. Skubal was terrible for his standards, allowing 4 runs.
Yeah, terrible for his standards.
Exactly.
I was going to stop you for a moment.
Skubal was downright horrible.
6 innings, 4 earned. He sucked.
He was
DFA
the worst.
him.
He was the worst left-handed pitcher on planet Earth that day for his standards. 6 innings, 4 runs. But Hunter Brown, shout out Jack McMullen, shout out the narrative. 7 innings of shutout baseball, 9 strikeouts. But in game 2, Tigers get their revenge, winning 13-5. Matt Vierling hit a home run. Riley Green hit 2. Carson Kelly and Colt Keith both homered. Flaherty 5 shutout innings, lowers his ERA to 3.01. And Spencer Arrighetti, who made the spot start for Verlander, who had a neck problem, isn't expected to miss much time. And good. Thank God, because Spencer Arrighetti allowed 7 runs and only got 4 outs. Game 3, Astros are the winners of this one, 4-1. Altuve with a big 3-run bomb, but this was the Ronel Blanco show. 7 no-hit innings, lowers his ERA to 2.43. Ryan Presley allowed the hit to Wenzel Perez in the 8th to break up the combo no-hitter. And just another point, like Josh Hader gave up another run. ERA to 3.98. I know nobody's going to care about that, but I just wanted to bring it up how I'm looking at the box score, seeing 7 no-hit from Blanco, then Presley giving up the hit. His ERA is at 5 and Hader's at 3.98. Astros move to 33 and 39. Tigers fall to 34 and 37.
Can I add something to that Sunday game? I guess the Saturday game earlier in the weekend, I think it was Saturday night, Jake Myers robbed a homer in the 9th inning. Did you see that play?
I wrote it down. Jake Myers, home run. Robbed Riley Green.
Took a homer off the board, not only for Riley Green, but for Josh Hader. Hader's getting blitzed right now, and Presley, regressions here, unfortunately. And this is the Astros season in a nutshell. The guy who was supposed to be the plan D starting pitching option flirts with the second no-hitter of the season.
He's their best pitcher.
And then Ryan Presley gets dinged by Wenzel Perez, of all people. This is the Astros season, is it not?
Isn't baseball the best and the worst? We say it all
Yeah,
the time after every weekend.
it's so twisted, and whatever you don't think is going to happen, chances are it happens.
The NL West, or excuse me, the American League West stinks outside of the Mariners. Like the
And even
Rangers
then, the
just
Mariners have serious offensive problems, but it doesn't matter right now.
doesn't matter. I think they're hitting 221 as a team, and they're in first place by 8.5 games. We're going to talk about them
Crazy.
in a later series. The Astros stink, the Rangers stink, the Angels stink, and the frickin' A's stink.
Detroit is going to get a package and a half relative to what we were expecting for Jack Flaherty.
Glad you brought that up. I wonder what it is. They're going to get a top 100 prospect because he is a free agent after the year. It's not like you get multiple years of control here.
It's tough. Like, even if they don't get a top 100 prospect, I think they could get 2 back end top 10 guys in a system.
Something
And
like that.
I was not expecting that whatsoever for Jack Flaherty coming into the year.
It also was pretty disappointing. Like the Tigers, we're talking about the Cubs struggling. Like Tigers and Cubs have the same record, basically.
Yeah, but the
I mean,
Cubs are the Cubs. Like,
yeah.
no disrespect to the Detroit Tigers, different
Weren't we
brand.
saying though that the Tigers would be a pretty solid team this year, or at least like we had somewhat of dreams of them potentially grinding for a wild card spot?
Yeah, but the Cubs moves, like the Cubs were in the Chapman Bellinger conversations. The Tigers signed Kenta Maeda and Jack Flaherty, and we were like, oh, this is a good offseason.
Jack Flaherty's a better signing than anything the Cubs did.
Uh-huh.
I'm just kidding.
Shota.
Maybe I'm
No,
not.
you're
Yeah,
lying.
Shota's pretty good. All right, let's move to arguably the best series of the weekend. Orioles versus Phillies, and the Orioles win this one 2-1. And game one was a banger. Phillies win 5-3 in 11 innings. Schwarber and Marchand hit a home run, but it was tied at 3-3 after 10 innings. And then we get a freaking hour rain delay.
Yeah.
But Alec Boehm, the 2-run double in the 11th was the difference. And Ranger Suarez, yet again, 6 2/3, 1 earned run. And in that start, almost going 7 innings, only allowing 1 earned run, his ERA only fell 0.04, went from 1.81 to 1.77. And in game two, Orioles win 6-2. This was the Anthony Santander game. He hit 2 bombs, and Grayson Rodriguez, 7 innings, only 2 runs allowed. ERA is down to 3.20. Game three, Orioles win 8-3. You got 4 home runs against Zach Wheeler coming from Gunnar Henderson, Colton Cowser, Adley Rutschman, and Jordan Westberg. Burns was great, only 2 earned allowed. Lowers his ERA to 2.14. Wheeler got destroyed. 8 earned runs in 4 innings. ERA goes from 2.16 to 2.84. The last time he allowed 8 runs was in 2018 as a member of the Mets against the Colorado Rockies. And the Orioles moved to 47-24. Phillies fall to 47-24.
I think it was the first time that Zach Wheeler has allowed 4 homers in his career.
Makes sense.
Yeah, first time. Remind me who won the series
Orioles.
against the best team in the National League?
Yep.
As if we needed another loud statement from them.
Yeah. It was, to be fair to the Phillies, tough spot for them. London series, they come back another series on the road in Fenway, then a 3rd consecutive road series against the Baltimore Orioles when you have to face Grayson and Corbin Burns. Like, it is, to be fair to the Phillies, it was tough for them. That's not taking anything away from the Orioles, more aiding the Phillies losing this series a little bit.
Good teams disregard tough situations. And I think the Phillies are a really good and great team this year. And they disregarded, for the most part, tough situations in London and at Fenway.
Losing
But
JT
this was a
Realmuto.
battle. Yeah. And I mean, you mentioned Rafael Marchand went yard. And that's a guy that they're going to lean on for a while JT's out for 4 to 6 weeks or whatever it is. Listen, man, I'm not saying that this was an indictment on the Philadelphia Phillies. I understand that they were in a tough spot, but the Orioles still have to go take care of business. Like, the ball's still out there, and they got to throw it.
And to your credit, it's not like the series was all that close. Like, game one was really close, but then it was 2 real stompings.
And then they hung 4 nukes on Zach Wheeler.
Exactly. So it's like, was Wheeler not rested on his road series when he gave up 8 earned and 4 home runs? Like, not really. That's more of a testament to the Phillies, maybe their defense, their bullpen, their offense. It ain't have anything to do with Wheeler giving up 8 earned.
It has nothing to do with the Orioles coming out guns blazing offensively.
That's why it's so impressive what Ranger keeps doing. Just
know.
another
I know.
freaking almost 7 inning one. He just never gives up anything.
No,
It's
it's
clockwork.
crazy. He's surgical. And
Surgical.
Scooble is overpowering. I know you're Team Ranger over Team Scooble right now when it
Funny
comes to
though, I have a
best lefty
Tarek
in baseball.
Skubal. I have a Tarek Skubal.
I know. But
I
you made
can't believe Ranger. It's every game.
it is every game. It is surgical. I'd say Scooble is overpowering.
Yeah,
Ranger,
Skubal's
it just seems
dominant.
like he's outsmarting other opposing lineups, and it is insane to watch.
Yeah, watching Scooble, or excuse me, watching Ranger, it's almost like one of those like kid geniuses in your
Mhm.
class where like you all get a math test
Yeah, the kid
and
that
like
plays piano, right? And he's just done before
just
everybody.
done before everybody else. And I wouldn't call that dominant. And then you go out to PE and Tarek Skubal is that athlete that just kicks everybody's asses in handball or touch football. Then you go back in class and Ranger Suarez is dominating you in the test.
Listen, both guys are going to get the chicks at different points in their life.
100%. Rangers just got to mature a little bit. They'll get there. All right. Pirates versus Rockies, riveting series. Pirates win 2-1. Pirates win game 1, 5-2. Brian Reynolds, Jack Sawinski, Andrew McCutchen all leave the yard. And I know, like, we're supposed to highlight the starters in the big plays, but damn it, Luis Ortiz is a fucking beast. I love Luis Ortiz, dude. He's so nasty out of the pen. 5 innings, 1 earned out of the bullpen. ERA down to 2.51. He's nasty. You got to turn on a Pirates game and watch Luis Ortiz come out of the bullpen. I know it's not the best pitch in the world, but I'm telling you, you're going to see some diesel engines. Game 2, Rockies win 16-4. Hunter Goodman, 4 for 5 with 2 bombs, 5 RBIs. He was a triple away from the cycle. Shout out Michael Toglia, hit a grand slam as well. And the question, Jack, I have to ask you, because we do this after every start. Jared Jones give up 6 earned runs at Coors in 4 innings. ERA moves to 3.76. Is he an ace?
Can I put one of them on Yasmani Grandal?
Yes, you can.
Ryan McMahon stole home on a lofted ball back to Jones from Yasmani Grandal. Also, skip the G in Tolia. Michael Tolia.
What did I say?
Toglia.
Oh, sometimes I black out, so I appreciate that.
Michael Tolia. Like I still think that Jared Jones is elite frontline type.
Yeah.
Command's getting to him.
No, I mean, a fly ball pitcher at Coors, I'm only making fun of you. I think that's a fine. It was his first start.
Can I just say,
fly ball pitcher, he's fine.
I saw Pirates Twitter doing backflips when Jason DeLay got the start behind the dish, and Henry Davis hit the concussion IL. But like, man, I mean,
such assholes, dude.
It was Christmas morning for them when Yasmani Grandal was out of the lineup.
But credit to Jason DeLay in game 3, Pirates win 8-2. Jason DeLay had 3 RBIs. Rowdy Tellez, Triolo had 2 RBIs each. How about Josh Fleming? Longest outing of the season, 4 shutty. Thought it was going to be Dalton Jeffries. I bet on the Rockies money line, by the way. It was supposed to be Dalton Jeffries, and then it was going to be Fleming, then Jeffries. Instead, they never start Jeffries, who has a 17 ERA. Fleming goes 4 shutty, and it's never even close. Pirates win.
Yeah, Jeffries was supposed to start in Jacksonville on Sunday, and Fleming got selected after he cleared. It's kind of weird transactionally. Also,
you'd think after all those transactions that the Rockies could win as an underdog at home, but they did not. They lost by 6.
Maybe not. They kind of like already used up all the run production on Saturday in the middle game. 16-4. That steal a home from McMahon is like inexcusable, but Pirates got the sticks out, and now they host Cincinnati with Skeens on the hill tonight.
Against Carson Spires.
Yeah, who's been fine.
Pitcher.
Yeah, he's been a pitcher.
Been a pitcher. Do you have any major takeaways other than you have to reconsider your Jared Jones position after every start now?
No, Nick Gonzalez went yard again. This guy is like for real.
One of the best second basemen in Major League Baseball right now. Not is, but the way he's playing is up there with any second baseman right now in the game.
Absolutely.
All right, let's go to another riveting series. Marlins, Nationals. Nationals swept them 3-0. It wasn't even close the entire time. Nationals win game 1. Lane Thomas, 3-run bomb. Sean Anderson gave up 7 earned in 2 innings. Mackenzie Gore, dominant. 7 innings, 10 Ks, 1 earned, ERA down to 3.24. Game 2, Nationals win 4-0. Lane Thomas homered again. Joey Meneses homered. DJ Hers, the story of the weekend, I think, arguably. 6 innings, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 13 punch-outs for the young southpaw. Game 3, Nationals win 3-1. Same story. Lane Thomas homer, Jacob Young homer, Mitchell Parker 6 innings, 1 earned, ERA down to 3.06. Jack McMullen trivia question for you before I get into your takeaway. How many wins do you think the Marlins have this year against left-handed pitchers?
Against left-handed pitchers. So they saw 3 of them. They lost all 3.
Yes, they did.
I'm going to go. Can you tell me how many starts?
So I think it was, they had about, there was 25 of them, I think, or 24 of them.
Okay.
I don't have the amount of losses, but I have ingrained in my head the amount of wins.
Okay.
So I think it's around, I think 20 to 25.
Okay. So I will, for the sake of my simple brain computing, they have faced a left-handed starting pitcher 24 times. I think they've won 7 of those games.
Cut it in half and -1.
No way.
3.
No way.
3. Someone sent me that stat. I was like, oh my God.
Oh, ouch.
Nationals moved to 35 and 36. The Nationals, they could be a wild card contender.
No, the
Marlins certainly
National
are
League
not.
is really bad. Can we get that out of the way?
Yeah, it is. It really is bad. But the
Yeah.
Nationals, hey, they're fun. Like, they got a good team, sort of. And the Marlins are just awful. I mean, just awful.
So I do want to add some validity to the DJ Hers game. And I'm not saying that this guy's going to do this against an offense that has like 9 beating hearts
That has
in
3 wins against lefties.
Right, right. But DJ Hers' biggest competition has always been DJ Hers. If he's in the strike zone, he's gotten outs in the minor leagues. And he proved that as a Cubs farmhand, and he proved that in Double-A last year after the Candelario deal. Hers got up, and when he has confidence within the strike zone, he can be a major league caliber starting pitcher. Now, 6 innings of 1 hit shutout ball with 13 Ks. I did not think that was in the tank, but I thought 9K games were in the tank in 5 innings.
You underestimated the Marlins.
I underestimated the Marlins. Mackenzie Gore is here, and I think it was 3 weeks ago. I brought it up with Arm. I was like, help me understand Mackenzie Gore. Like, are we there yet? Is he a good starting pitcher? I think Mackenzie Gore is a really good starting pitcher in Major League Baseball now. There's way more validity to this, I think, than to Josiah Gray from last year. And without knowing any of the backstory, I have to take Gore's side on the Mackenzie Gore-Nick Sanzel shoving match in the dugout, just because Nick Sanzel's not as good as Mackenzie Gore.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, we have no idea. But yeah, that was crazy.
I'm Team Gore because it's like, dude, like Nick Sanzel, are you really poking a fight with your one?
And you know what I appreciate from the Nationals? Nothing came out about it, or at least nothing that I saw. They kept it in-house. There was obviously that skirmish in the dugout, guys pushing and shoving. They both go down in the locker room. And I guess it was left at that, which is a good sign for the Nationals, because that's something, especially for a young team, that can kind of derail you.
Yeah.
Moving forward, they just turned the page and then won their next game. How about Mitchell Parker, another lefty? He's been awesome.
Dude, Parker, he has what, a low 3s? What's he sitting at?
I think he's got a 307 or something. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Right here. 306.
Yeah, that's in, I think, 10 starts, 11 starts. I told you Mitchell Parker was going to be sneaky. I didn't think he was going to be this. Like, again, the trio of Gore, Hers, and Parker all looking their best against a really bad team against left-handed pitching. Tip your cap to the Nats, man. Natitude, they're in it. And listen, in 10 years, we're not going to remember that the National League was really bad in 2024. If they sneak in, they're a playoff team.
That's a good point. Let's move to a great series. Rays versus Braves. Braves win the series 2-1. Game 1, Braves offense finally explodes. Marcell Ozuna, Austin Riley both went yard. Austin Riley going 3 for 4, triple away from the cycle. Zach Littell got his hits destroyed. 2 innings, 6 earned, and Chris Sale, 7 innings, 2 earned, 7 strikeouts. ERA down to 2.98. And the Braves just keep on rolling in game 2, winning 9-2. Jared Kelenic, Marcell Ozuna, Matt Olson, Austin Riley all went yard. Charlie Morton, 6 innings, a 1-run ball, 8 Ks, ERA down to 3.91. But in game 3, the Rays would not be denied, winning 8-6. Brandon Lau hit a home run. Ben Rortfit hit a grand slam. Jose Siri hit a home run. I'm just going to throw it in there that Austin Riley did homer again in this one. But this was Hurston Waldrop, just a nightmare. 6 earned in 3 innings, ERA to 16.71, and he was sent down right after that outing. Braves moved to 38-31. Rays fall to 34-38, and they are now last place in the American League East.
So Aram and I kind of went in depth on Hurston Waldrop's major league debut that came last week in Washington. And the word that I used was nervous. It was either nervous or uncomfortable. I'm blanking on whichever one that I used, but
both work. He's nibbling. I mean, the whole you watch him, he has no confidence in his stuff, or at least that's what it looks like watching on TV, which is tough to know, but that's my takeaway.
Well, and a guy like that with a fringy fastball that like is really only considered major league caliber because it's really hard. Like a guy like that with 2.5 pitches that he can go to, you have to have conviction with all of them. And it felt like he only had conviction with the split. And if hitters eliminate the splitter, like you're good, man. Like that's a tough one. The Braves have fast-tracked guys, I mean, consistently over the last 4 or 5 years. And I don't know if it's an Alex Anthopoulos thing, but AJ Smith-Shawver.
They want to get him to a pre-arb deal quick.
Sure, but they also like needed help at those times. So AJ Smith-Shawver was needed help when he debuted last year. But he was 20 and he was a rocket ship through the minor leagues. Hurston Waldrop is not Paul Skeens. Like all due respect to Hurston Waldrop. But like Dolander isn't Paul Skeens. Dolander hasn't thrown a pitch above high A at this point. Rhett Lauder hasn't thrown a pitch above double A at this point. And he was a little shaky in his first couple of starts in double A.
Both of those guys were drafted before Waldrop.
I know. You have to acknowledge that even if you see another guy from that draft class get up and thrive, it doesn't mean that your guy from that draft class is going to get up and thrive. When he has 12 minor league starts under his belt, they're going to send him to Gwinnett. I hope they keep him there.
Yeah.
For a couple months. I hope he's not shuttled back and forth here. I hope we do not, for the sake of Hurston Waldrop, see Hurston Waldrop throwing for the Atlanta Braves before August 15th. He can be with them in September. I think that he can be a great bullpen arm for them in September. Do the DL Hall thing with Waldrop. But man, like if they were going to option him, I thought they were just going to move him to the pen and have him go short inning, low leverage, that kind of thing. Or, couple inning, low leverage, that kind of thing.
They don't need him in the bullpen at all. The bullpen's been the best part of the Braves so far this season, arguably.
They don't need him, but that was my initial thought. Because they didn't really have to send him to the minor leagues. But if you are going to send him to the minor leagues, don't have him be there as like a time buying thing.
Yeah.
He's got to be checked in and get a lot better with his fastball and get a lot better with his overall confidence.
Yeah. 100%. Couldn't agree with you more. You want to move to Guardians versus Blue Jays?
I woke Austin Riley up by expressing my disappointment, and I'm thrilled that I woke Austin Riley up. I will absolutely be I don't know, have the sword driven in. I don't know what the term is, but I will absolutely fall on the sword. I will fall on the sword for you, Austin Riley. Again, I do firmly believe that Austin Riley is the best third baseman in baseball, and this weekend he looked like it because Jose Ramirez was on the paternity list. Congratulations to Jose Ramirez.
I was about to say Jose Ramirez gave him a pass because he was on the paternity list, but you said it yourself. All right, let's move to Guardians versus Blue Jays. Another great series where the Blue Jays win 2-1. Guardians won, though, the first game 3-1. Big time home run from Will Brennan. Logan Allen was fine. 5 innings, 1 run. Gausman was not that fine. 5 in the third, 8 hits, 3 earned. ERA to 4.08 now. Game 2. Remember when we talked about that last week where it was like, okay, this is the Gausman start. Yeah. Like this is the start that starts to propel him into acehood. Not quite. Game 2, Blue Jays win 5-0. Blue Jays score 5 off Carrasco, and basically the entire lineup got involved. It was a bullpen game for the Jays, and everyone did their part. Game 3, Blue Jays win 7-6. Ernie Clement hit a home run, but Dalton Varsho hit a huge grand slam. The game was tied 2-2 in the middle innings, made it 6-2. And now the Guardians, they tried to close the gap with 2 home runs, but it wasn't enough. And Ben Lively, Jose Brios allowed 4 runs each. Blue Jays moved to 35-36. Guardians fall to 44-25. Blue Jays needed this series win.
So badly. That was my only takeaway from this.
Yeah.
Frankly, like none of the pitchers pitched the way that I was hoping that they would. So, I pivot to the overall season narrative, and Jays needed a series win so badly, and they got it. It stops the bleeding for a moment. I think the bleeding is going to return eventually, maybe very soon, but it's nice to kind of push it away for a weekend where you can just appreciate a series win over one of the better teams in the American League instead of, oh, wow, when are we going to trade Bichette? You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of fun to get a break from those conversations.
And on that point, now this is not the correct take, but it's how I felt, and it's how I felt, so I'm going to say it. I felt like that Dalton Varsho grand slam was like the biggest point of their entire season. Just like that was so huge for them.
It's relieving. It's relieving in a sense.
Exactly. And another takeaway I have, Blue Jays got to DFA George Springer. I mean, something's got to happen. He's hitting 198. He's horrible. And it's not his, I mean, I was going to say it's not his fault. It is technically his fault for playing this poorly, but I just feel bad for a guy because I also saw some Blue Jays fans on Twitter being like, are we really about to drive out the guy who was one of the few stars to sign in Toronto? It's really hard for them to get big marquee free agents to go sign in Canada. And George Springer was one of them. And now after this, we're just going to run him out of town. There's that give and take there, I guess, for future free agents, right? You go there, maybe you struggle and the fans now want you out. Should I sign with the Blue Jays if I'm an impending free agent and I'm a big time player? I don't know. It's just the at-bats are terrible. I mean, they're terrible. And it's so unfortunate because George Springer is one of the better players of our generation. But he's just...
Oh, that's a stretch.
Dude, I mean, he was a huge part of the Astros mini dynasty. Mini in terms of when he was there. He's been one of the better center fielders. I bet if we look at a WAR among center fielders in the last 10 years, I bet he's way up there. So one of the better, maybe it's a little bit of a stretch, better players of our generation. One of the better players of our generation. I think that's fair.
I don't think it's fair, but I do think that Springer was damn solid, and a lot of those great years came as a Houston Astro. As a Toronto Blue Jay, he has a 768 OPS. I know this year has been bad,
I thought
but
it'd
at
be
the end
worse,
of the day,
honestly.
yeah, I know. He gave you 21 homers last year, 25 the year before, 22 the year before that, a 907 OPS, and an injury hampered 78 games in 21, in 22 and 814, in 23 a 732, which was still above league average. Like, you have to ride this thing out. You cannot DFA him. Do I think he's one of the better players of the generation? No, I do not. But do I think that he's a good player? And do I think that's valid, that he is a star that signed in Toronto and they better treat him right? Yeah. Like, I think there's some grace to be given here. And Springer has a 580, surely, through 63 games. If he has a 580 for the season, that sucks. But it's not Jose Abreu. Like, the big contracts that you get out from under look like Jose Abreu and Madison Bumgarner. This is not that.
I'm just saying, keep an eye on it.
Sure, but
just keep an eye on it.
Don't come to me with it until like September 1.
Fair. Well, then at that point, they ain't DFAing shit because it's September.
No, I know. I view the odds of them designating George Springer for assignment in 2024 at 0.001%.
So you're saying there's a chance?
The Jim Carrey thing, yeah. Sure.
All right. Before we move on to Padres Mets, how about a quick break? Padres versus Mets. The Mets sweep 3-0. Mets win 2-1 in game 1 off a JD Martinez 2-run double. Jackson Merrill hit a home run for the Padres, but that was it. This was all pitching. Matt Waldron, 7 innings, 2 earned. Sean Manaea, 5 innings, 1 earned, 7 strikeouts. But shout out Edwin Diaz, his first save since May 6th against the Cardinals. Good to see him back throwing cheese again. Game 2, Mets win again, 5-1. 2 big bombs from JD Martinez. Adam Mazer, 6 walks. Not good in 3 2/3. Young pitcher for the San Diego Padres. Jose Quintana needed it. 6 innings, 1 earned, 6 strikeouts. Ends Quintana's 6 straight starts without a win. What a terrible streak. But it's over. Game 3, Mets win 11-6. 5 driven in from Pete Alonso's season high. 3-run home run will certainly help. Lindor, Luis Torrens hit a home run as well. Dylan Cease got shit on. 3 2/3, 7 earned. Now the Mets have won 5 in a row, and they're a game and a half out of the wild card, and they have not lost since Grimace threw the first pitch on June 12th. I knew you'd want to hear about that one.
That's really important. That's
It's
really important. You know, that was his birthday, June 12th.
The story of Grimace has gotten crazy. Remember the trends?
The shake, the Grimace shake. It was his birthday. It was his birthday shake.
Now he's the Mets angel. What a
I
life.
I know. So listen, the Grimace shake, people were pretending to die. Grimace didn't kill anybody, okay?
We aren't sure.
If Grimace killed people, it's okay because he saved the New York Mets.
The savior for the Mets is a serial killer.
Yeah, no, like he was the namesake behind a shake that made people foam from the mouth on TikTok. Like that's just what happened, and it's okay. This is the Grimace year. And I think if the Mets are sitting in a wild card spot at the All-Star break, we should, at our activation during All-Star weekend in Arlington, have a moment and make an ode to Grimace.
Maybe make one of those videos.
I think so. I think so. Make some sort of like weird purple milkshake and just say, Grimace, this one's for you.
You know what you said at the beginning of the show, how the National League sucks? You know the Mets are a game and a half out of the wild card?
Almost, I know.
They all are.
They all are.
Everybody. Every team in the National League is 2 games under 500.
The only team that isn't is the Marlins. Like,
Yeah.
That's it.
Like,
let me pull up, like, actually, let's do something as simple as pull up the NL wildcard standings. The National League wildcard standings, there are 2 teams that are more than a game and a half out of the wildcard spot. Mm-hmm. The Rockies and the Marlins. That's it.
Everybody else right in the thick of it.
And the Rockies are going to make a push. After they shed Diaz and McMahon and they get Ariel Amador right, we'll get into that. Actually, no, we already passed it. Amador, let's. Are we done with this? Again, we talked about this.
He just doesn't look like a major league player yet.
No, not yet. That's okay.
That's okay. That's okay. But he's just not a major league player yet. That's the new second baseman for the Colorado Rockies that we're talking about. But yeah, Mets moved to 33-37. Padres fall to 37-38. Just a lot of mediocre baseball being played right now in the National League. Yeah,
but credit to JD Martinez. He had a hell of a weekend.
And Pete Alonso as well. Let's move to Reds versus Brewers. Brewers win 2-1. Game 1, Reds win 6-5, though. TJ Friedl, Heimer Candelario both went yard. Candelario had an amazing series. Now, the Brewers scored 2 in the 9th and almost won, but Bowers was thrown out at home. And the Reds had 5 errors and still won this game. Hunter Green, typical good start, 5 innings, 2 runs. Freddie Peralta, again, I keep bringing it up every single time we do the weekend roundup. We're talking about another mediocre to bad Freddie Peralta start. 5 1/3, 6 earned on 10 hits. His ERA is now up to 4.38. I just can't believe it. Game 2, Brewers win 3-1. Joey Ortiz with a 3-run bomb. And I shouted out Luis Ortiz for the Pirates for 5 innings of great bullpen work. Bryce Wilson, you get the same. 5 1/3 shutout after a Jared Koenig opener. Jared Koenig is like Jared Koenig is like the greatest opener I've ever watched. If you need 3 outs in the first inning, Jared Koenig is your freaking guy. Also, Brian Hudson, this lefty reliever for the Brewers. They got so many guys who you just never heard of who are just so freaking good. And the Brewers win 5-4 in Game 3. Willie Adames, clutch 3-run home run. They were down 3-1 in the 6th. That gave them the lead. And at the very end of the game, Blake Perkins nails Stuart Fairchild trying to score on a Santiago Espinal bloop hit. And that was that. Colin Ray, another great start. 6 innings, 2 earned. Lowers ERA to 3.29. Reds fall to 34-37. Brewers move to 42-29.
Do you know what Bryce Wilson and Luis Ortiz have in common?
Don't tell me they're both from New York. Are they both from Long Island?
Luis Ortiz is from the Dominican Republic.
Oh, he could, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. No, they were both Indianapolis Indians in 2022.
Wow.
Right?
Well, I know Bryce Wilson. I think he's either from Long Island or Staten Island. That's why I was like, is Luis Ortiz?
No, Luis Ortiz is not. Luis Ortiz is from San Pedro de Macorís. But you left out a very important note about Mr. De La Cruz, who scored from second base on a pickoff attempt. Colin Ray's throw got it to shallow center, and Ellie De La Cruz ran 180 feet in under 7 seconds from standing upright. I saw Clay Snowden put that out on Twitter. Less than 7 seconds between the ball going through the wickets and him sliding across home plate. Someone needs to tell him that human beings shouldn't be able to score from second on a pickoff attempt. Like, someone needs to tell him.
And he stole second so effortlessly, too. Every steal from his is so effortless. I've never even seen, like, he's there. When he steals a base, he's there, and it's not even close.
He is a game wrecker, and we don't use that term often in baseball. Like, the way you hear it in sports is from an edge rusher in football, right? Like Nick Bosa, game wrecker. Aaron Donald, game wrecker. There are a couple others, like Khalil Mack at his peak, game wrecker. Ellie De La Cruz creates havoc out of tranquility, and that's like the best compliment that I can give to somebody on the base paths. But he is a true game wrecker on the base paths.
So funny, and maybe you disagree. His defensive metrics, like he's 95th percentile on outs above average and 93rd percentile on arm strength. When I watch him, I feel like I'm not watching like a great defender, but he grades out so well.
Disagree.
And when he but he throws the ball so damn hard. But for whatever reason, when I'm watching him, like I don't feel like I'm watching a great defender. But then the stats are just being like, Peter, you're so wrong.
Yeah. No, and eye test for me is telling you, Peter, you're so wrong.
Fair enough. I just wanted to bring it up, just to
He's
throw a
must
wrench
watch.
in any Reds fan listening. Be like, what the fuck did Peter say? What the?
Yeah, that was silly from you. Silly take. L take.
Loser. All right, let's move to Rangers versus Mariners. Mariners sweep. Game 1. Mariners win 3-2. Mitch Garver, big 2-run bomb. Luis Castillo, 6 innings, 2 earned, 7 strikeouts. ERA down to 3.32. He's awesome. Game 2, Mariners win 7-5. Home run by Josh Rojas and Julio Rodriguez. Josh Rojas had 3 RBIs. George Kirby, 6 innings, dominant, no runs, 6 Ks, ERA down to 3.54. Game 3, Mariners win 5-0. Logan Gilbert show. 8 shutty. Only 2 hits allowed, 9 Ks, ERA down to 2.93. Tyler Locklear hit a home run. The Mariners have dominated the National League West. 17-5 versus National League West opponents. They also are the kings of playing at home. They have 27 wins at home this year, tied with the Phillies for the most in the league. The Mariners move to 43-31. Rangers fall to 33-38. It's kind of the same thing I've been saying about the American League West. Everyone else outside of the Mariners kind of stinks. Rangers are 33-38.
I know. You said they've dominated the National League West. They've dominated the American League West.
American League West. I don't know why I wrote down NL West. They have dominated the American League West.
Silly goose behavior. Shout out Walter. Logan Gilbert's alter ego. You remember the whole Walter thing last year? He was like, on the hill, I'm Walter. Like, that's his kind of thing. It's like that M. Night Shyamalan movie. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I think I have the story right. I'll Google when you're doing the next series rundown. But Logan Gilbert, 8 innings, a 2-hit shutout ball. Again, like Logan Gilbert, I think you shit on me for giving him love and taking him in that draft.
No, I gave you shit for drafting him like 3rd overall
because he's nasty.
He's great, but 3rd overall is crazy.
He's great.
He is great. And he's dominant. I don't want to take anything away from him. Like, I almost don't want you to bring that up because then it seems like I'm a hater. All I said is, like, I don't think he's the 3rd best pitcher in baseball.
Who's more of a hater, you or me?
I think we hate in different ways.
Yeah.
I think we hate in different ways.
Yeah.
Um, but I just want to talk about the Mariners and how built they are for T-Mobile. The pitching is so damn good in a pitcher's ballpark that if the Mariners just score a couple, they're going to win. I mean, these guys are too good. You're facing an ace level type pitcher every day. Brian Wu going down definitely hurts. But when you go Castillo and Kirby and Gilbert, like the Rangers didn't have a chance. You get those three at T-Mobile, series is over.
Yeah.
And no wonder they keep facing all these guys at T-Mobile and they keep losing. That stadium is perfectly built for the 2024 Mariners. Pitching, pitching, pitching.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's just them and Colorado that have kind of like that zip sky cam that goes down the third base line. You know what I'm talking about? They use that all the time.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that thing. The like sliding
Yeah, like the spider
camera.
cam. I think it's called a spider cam, but yeah, I think it's Seattle and Colorado, and that gives you a vibes boost.
Also, last takeaway, Ryan Stanek, 3 saves. Big fill-in
Stanek
for Andres
was
Munoz.
Stanek was a great offseason get.
Yeah.
Great.
You know who could have worked for? The Astros.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Subtle jab there. All right, Royals versus Dodgers. Dodgers win 2-1. Game 1, Dodgers win 4-3. Miguel Rojas, big 3-run home run, and Chris Taylor also had a solo shot. It's 3-3 in the 8th, and Freddie Freeman does Freddie Freeman things. RBI single to break it up. Cole Reagans was great. 7 innings, 3 earned. Gavin Stone, a little bit better just because his team won. 7 innings, 3 earned. Game 2, Royals win 7-2. MJ Melendez, grand slam on the 12th pitch of the AB against a guy like Blake Trinan. Blake Trinan, I think, threw 9 cutters against him. It just seemed like the same pitch every time. He kept fouling it off, and finally it left the yard. Seth Lugo. What else is there to say? Every weekend roundup, hey, Seth Lugo had another quality start. 6 innings, 2 earned, ERAs down to 2.40. But Yoshinobu Yamamoto exited after 2 innings with tricep tightness. We later find out that it's a strained rotator cuff from Dave Roberts, not season ending, which is good, but still, that's horrible. In game 3, Dodgers win 3-0. A win for the Dodgers, but a loss on the back end, and we'll talk about it. Shohei Ohtani hit 2 bombs. One went 451 feet opposite field. 114 mile an hour home runs that went at least 450 feet to the opposite field. There have only been 3 of them in the StatCast era. Ohtani has all 3 of them. Ohtani and Freddie went back-to-back in the 6th inning. Glasnow shoved 7 innings, 9 Ks. But the big story, Mookie Betts hit with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball on the hand. It is fractured. Will not need surgery is the initial report. And Dave Roberts said after the game that he is considering moving Shohei Ohtani up to the leadoff spot, which would kind of be electric. Dodgers move to 44-29. Royals fall to 41-32.
Loss. Like, this is the biggest weekend loss for the Dodgers in so long. Yamamoto, like, rotator cuff never sounds good, ever. And I don't know what it means. I'm not going to play doctor here. I don't know what the estimated timetable will be.
I don't know. There's some people on Twitter who are playing doctor that sound really smart.
Yeah, well, they sound really smart during the Little League World Series, too. And it's like, oh, yeah, this kid's going to get cut in 3 years.
Worst. Like,
it's
a kid
the worst.
Has a funky arm movement. It's like, oh, that kid's getting Tommy John tomorrow.
Gavin Weir, North Dakota kid, throws hard, like funky delivery. Oh yeah, Tommy John. Like, let the kid be good. He's 12, please. Yamamoto takes as good a care of his body as any pitcher in Major League Baseball. The routine is literally viral. The weighted javelins, the aerobics, like everything this motherfucker does is to stay on the mound. And we've got a strained rotator cuff from this guy 2 months into his major league career. What's happening to our game? What happened to the game I love? It's insane. And listen, 90, well, and like 98 on your hand sucks. And I feel for Mookie, and I hope that he's not out for 4 months. I hope he's only out for 2 months or whatever it is. But like a hand fracture, that's not a minimum stay on the IL. That's at least a month. We have no idea how long it's going to be, but it'll probably require a rehab assignment. Yamamoto and the unknown there. I mean, dude, I'm listening to,
Thankfully,
yeah,
Bobby Miller's coming back, which
yeah,
is
Bobby's
good, but
coming back, which is
still.
awesome. But at the end of the day, like, if I'm a Dodgers fan, I'm playing Marvin's Room tonight. Like, that's just how it's going to go.
I'm listening to a quick sidetrack of music. I know this is a very popular song now, but Devil is a Lie by Tommy Richmond is like the best song of the year. I
Uh,
love that song.
Million Dollar Baby was really good the first time I listened to it.
Devil is a Lie is way better than that song. I think that's
Ah,
such a bop, but that's for another time, for
gotcha.
another podcast. But
Sure.
for anybody listening, Devil is a Lie by Tommy Richmond. And if you have listened to it in the YouTube comments, tell me what genre of music that is. It's like Pharrell, sorta. It's amazing. Go listen
He's
to
got
it.
something going.
Move on to the next series. We'll stay out
Yep.
west. Angels Giants. Angels win 2-1. This is actually, I think this is the most underrated series of the weekend. The series was awesome. I weirdly caught a lot of it. Angels won 8-6 in game one. Angels went up 7-0 after 4 innings on a Zach Neto home run. That was the big, highlight there to get him up 7-0. But the Giants just kept battling. Heliot Ramos is becoming legitimately my favorite player. Hit a home run in the eighth, pulled within two. Tyler Anderson, again, 5 innings, 1 earned, 5 Ks, ERA down to 2.58. Game two, Angels win again. Logan O'Hoppe hit a ball. It was projected 467. Peter Vision had it in the mid 600s. This thing was walloped. And Mickey Moniak, low key, had a ball that went 423 feet too. Mediocre starts by Patrick Sandoval and Keaton Wynn. Nothing really to talk about there. But game two was the Logan O'Hoppe went 700 feet game. Game three, Giants win 13-6. Jorge Soler hit a homer. Austin Slater hit a homer. Jorge Soler had 4 RBIs, which is huge for him. But how about Spencer Bivens? 3 innings, 1 earned, 4 strikeouts. He got the win because Kyle Harrison was put on the IL with an ankle injury. He was slated to make this start. Bivens' story is awesome. Undrafted out of Rogers State. Pitched in France, pitched in the Frontier League, in the Atlantic League, and came out and gave them a great start after pitching really well in AAA for the Giants. And another note, Ben Joyce, that 2 inning spurt, gave me Garrett Crochet vibes. Just being like, oh, maybe, could it be?
But
Maybe not,
he's
but it
not going to
was
throw
just
100
fun. It
pitches.
was fun.
Yeah.
And then Jose Suarez came in and gave up 1 million runs after
Yeah.
Ben Joyce exited.
Jose Suarez being an LA Angel while Reed Detmers is a Salt Lake B is a crime. It's criminal.
I don't know. They're managing his innings down there, apparently. No,
Are
the
they?
Angels, their development is doing wonders down there in AAA for Detmers, aren't they? That's what the Angels are known for.
I don't know. Usually they decide to skip the minor league. So kind of interesting that they felt like their guy with 4 years of service already needed the minor leagues. But
Such a good
those
point.
are my thoughts.
Nolan Shanwell spent 5 minutes in the
Yeah.
minors.
And,
you know who
and
we
Neto
need?
spent about 10.
So they clearly don't believe in anything in the minor leagues.
No. So, but like, let's get Reed Detmers down there. Like, why not? Right? We'll correct some shit. I loved that story about Bivens, and it's great because like we've got a kind of similar one in Indy right now with a guy named Brady Feigl, who was out of affiliated ball in Atlantic or in Indy ball for I think 2 years, went down to the Dominican Winter League, shoved, and is now one of the better relievers that the Pirates could turn to eventually. But those types of stories are what make this game great. Yoshinobu Yamamoto with a rotator cuff strain is what makes this game terrible, but we get the blend of both. That O'Hoppe homer is my weekend takeaway.
Yeah.
Wow.
Do you agree with Peter Vision? Did you have it at over 600 or where did you have it? And Jack
I
Vision?
did. I thought it was going to land right in the glove in left field, right next to the Coca-Cola sign at Oracle.
That was one of those perfects in MLB The Show.
Mm-hmm.
Just a crack, and everybody in the stadium knows it's way gone. And at Oracle, we're dealing with humidity. We're dealing with a big ballpark. That thing went so freaking far. 467, no way. It went way farther. All right, and also, takeaway from last weekend Roundup. Logan O'Hoppe, if he was a great defender, could be an elite catcher.
For sure.
Pushing narratives. All right. Series number 13. We only got 2 left after this. White Sox. Haha. Versus Diamondbacks. D-backs win the series 2-1. Game 1, D-backs win 7-1. Eugenio Suarez, Jock Peterson both go yard. Ryan Nelson, 6 innings, 1 earned, 8 strikeouts. That was all great. I can't keep my eyes off Justin Martinez. Dude throws buzz. Ben Joyce, Yohan Duran, Mason Miller, Justin Martinez in terms of average fastball velocity. Dude's got a 0.36 ERA in almost 30 innings of work. Dominant. That's my takeaway from the whole series. Do you want to even talk about the other games?
No, I mean, flick the glove forward. Repeat that Ryan Nelson line for me.
6 innings, 1 earned, 8 Ks.
That's my takeaway. And it's not about Ryan Nelson.
It's not about in game 2 how the White Sox hit 4 home runs. Paul DeJong, Andrew Vaughn, Lenine Sosa, Corey Lee, Eric Fetty, ERA down to 309, 2 earned,
Fetty
6
went
innings.
yard?
Fetty did not go yard, but he's the White Sox best player outside of Garrett Crochet, of course. How about this? That 9-2 win. You know how many road games the White Sox have won this year?
Is that number 10?
So they've played 38 road games.
8?
7.
7 and 31 on the road.
7 and 31 on the road.
Toughy.
You just got to get them a guaranteed rate. Way better.
And by way better, you mean 11
they have 12 wins at home.
Okay, yeah, so 12 and 24-ish.
Yeah, something like that. All right,
Gotcha.
in game 3, D-backs boat raced him 12-5. Christian Walker had a home run. Jake McCarthy had 3 RBIs. Jock had 2 RBIs. It was one of those like power of friendship games where just everybody in the lineup was just destroying baseballs. Jordan Montgomery, though. Damn, he needed it. 5 innings, no runs, 7 Ks. First shutout outing of the year. And Drew Thorpe was on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. 3 innings, 7 earned, 5 walks, no strikeouts. D-backs win 12-5, and they move to 35 and 37. White Sox fall to 19 and 54, still searching for that 20th win.
So Thorpe, let's not panic.
No, of course not.
Thorpe is in as low stress of a situation as he could possibly be in. First start was, I thought, really good. Second start was, I thought, really bad. That's what's going to happen to rookies. 5 walks, that can't happen for Thorpe.
Yeah.
Like,
no strikeouts. None.
But like, that's going to happen when your fastball cutter changeup, like that. Thorpe will run into some of those outings where he's only K'd 2 in 5 innings or 6 innings. And like that wasn't really the case in the minor leagues, but that's because he was just objectively better than everybody that he was seeing in the minor leagues. With the big league bump that you see offensively, I think Thorpe's stuff is going to be put in play a lot more. But he can induce a lot of weak contact. And I think we saw that against the Mariners. And we just didn't see him willing to get weak contact against the Diamondbacks. And they were hitting it hard. So he said, you know what, like, I'm done. If you're going to hit it hard, I'm just not going to let you hit anything. And that's like a more frustrating version because it's like, dude, find out how your stuff plays in the big leagues. That was my kind of takeaway from that. How soon do you think Paul DeJong is playing short for the Dodgers? Next week?
I'm playing short somewhere. How soon do you think Eric Fetty's going? Because we're talking about Flaherty's package.
No, Fetty's a deadline thing. Fetty, you let teams whip themselves into a frenzy and offer up like a serious package. With DeJong, it's like, how is Andrew Friedman not calling gets right now and be like, hey, Mookie's out 2 months. I need DeJong tomorrow.
I know, but they just traded for Kevin Biggio too, and now they got Rojas. I think Taylor can play.
Biggio's playing third against right-handed pitching. He's not going to play short.
No, I know he's not the shortstop. I'm just saying you just traded for an infielder and you already have other infielders. No, I agree though. Like, yeah, bring Paul DeJong in now.
They're the Dodgers. Like you got to go do it.
There's nobody in the minor leagues. Like Miguel Vargas can't slot in at short. That's not
I think the only internal option that makes sense is Trey Sweeney. But Trey Sweeney he might get blown up. Like I was talking to Aram about that on the call up at the end of last week. Like he could get obliterated. But if we're going panic mode and they're not ready to trade for DeYoung, literally as we talk right now, Sweeney might be the short-term answer.
Panic mode for the Dodgers after spending $1 billion is certainly interesting.
The beast of injuries.
Beast of injuries. All right, let's move to A's versus Twins. The Twins absolutely destroyed the A's. They won all three. They're currently playing the second game of a doubleheader as we are recording. In game one, Twins win 6-2. Carlos Correa is doing Correa shit right now. 2-run bomb. In this game, he went 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs. And Joe Ryan doing Joe Ryan shit. 7 innings, 2 earned, 5 strikeouts. ERA down to 3.24. Game two, banger of a game. Twins win 6-5 in 10 innings. Shea Langeliers hit a grand slam in the first. Twins score. Kepler, 3-run shot to tie it. And then in the bottom of the 10th, Max Kepler walks us off with an RBI single. Then in game three, same score as game one, 6-2. Correa, same story. 2 home runs this time. Royce Lewis and Carlos Santana add a bomb of their own. And Bailey Ober was excellent. 6 1/3, 8 Ks, only 1 earned allowed. Twins move to 39-32. And let me do a quick score check of where we're at in the second game of the doubleheader. 5-5 after 3 innings. Fascinating.
Guess who went yard again?
Royce Lewis. He's the greatest player.
7 homers in 40 at bats.
He's hitting 400.
He has a 1407 OPS in his 12 games at this point.
My God, imagine him over 162. This is just give me another Buxton situation, please, please, for the love of God.
Correa's a Buxton situation, and like it's
Correa's not as much, but yeah, I mean, he's hitting 308 right now. Chris Paddock got destroyed. Joey Estes got destroyed. But yeah, the Twins, when the Twins are playing good baseball, they play great baseball. And when the Twins are playing poor baseball, they play horrific baseball. I feel bad for Twins fans. Like you never get a mediocre game from the Twins.
Yeah.
You never get we could have had that one. It's either we beat the living shit out of them or we look like the worst team in the major league.
Frankly, that actually sounds like the least stressful fan experience of all time.
No, like I see where you're going with it, but for me, I'd hate it. Because they never know what to expect. Yeah, like I like getting the heart rate up, and I like a level of consistency with my team where I feel like I know my team. If I'm a Twins fan, I feel like I don't know my team at all. Or you know so little of them that you know them. That's what the Twins are, if that makes sense.
Expect the unexpected. Sure.
Expect the unexpected. Any takeaways on the A's? I think they're 2-18 in their last 20 road games.
Yeah, no, not on the A's. The moment I say that I'm kind of disappointed in Austin Riley, he goes ballistic. And the moment I start to wave the white flag on Simeon Woods Richardson, he gets lit up.
Baseball, isn't it the worst?
What do I have to do?
I don't know. That's why I just throw out somebody takes. It's like,
yes, one of them's gonna hit. Like if I hit 200 in the takes department,
it'd be the worst.
Might as well just be Kyle Schwarber in the takes department.
Might as well. We move to Yankees versus Red Sox. My Yanks, I'm wearing my Yankee hat right now. Tough series against the Sox. Not gonna lie, they won game one 8-1, and this was the Alex Verdugo game. 2-run home run on the first pitch he sees returning to Fenway Park. Jose Trevino added a home run of his own, but Verdugo went 3 for 5 with 4 RBIs, a triple away from the cycle. Luis Gil allowed 1 earned run in 5 innings. His ERA went from 2.04 to 2.03. The Yankees win their 50th game. The closest is the Phillies and the Orioles with 47 wins. But in game 2, it was all Sox. Red Sox win 8-4. Every Red Sox starter had a hit except Bobby Dalbec and Rob Refsnyder, and they really gave it to Carlos Rodon. 5 earned in 5 innings, raised his ERA to 3.28. Yankees currently sit at 50-23. Red Sox 36-35. And right now, I put on my Yankees hat and my Yankees jersey. I got to catch Aaron Judge hitting his 26th home run of the year. And then I go in to record with Jack, and they just allow a bunch of runs. Luckily, Jose Trevino just homered, but it's been all Red Sox early. Ceddanne Rafaela, Rafael Devers again. Stroman struggled. Carter Crawford's been pretty good. Red Sox are winning 4-2 in the 6th, and I really hope they blow it.
Jose Trevino just went yard. Judge has 26. Oh my gosh.
I
Roman.
tweeted about it. I want 35 by the All-Star break, and I want 70 when the season ends. Is
That's
that fair?
insane.
Yeah, it sounds
I
insane.
think it
really
is
doesn't
fair,
it?
but like that's insane to think about.
We were at
What?
26 and June 16th. Like the All-Star
know.
break is what, a month away? Like
Yeah,
July
less than a
5th,
month.
12th or something like that.
Yeah, it's June 17th, less than a month.
We're off to Arlington soon.
We are off to Arlington soon.
Can't wait.
5 innings, 11 base runners for Marcus Stroman. Good news is Garrett Cole K'd 10 with Scranton.
We got an alert that on Wednesday it's either going to be Garrett Cole or Cody Petit. And there was a part of me that says I'm very excited for Cole, but like, let's get another Petit started there. He's been good. That's how good the Yankees have been. Where
Dude.
if I'm considering Cole versus Petit, I'm legitimately thinking to myself, keep resting Cole.
No,
like,
you know
let's
what?
get a Petit started there.
You know what? I'll be honest, from a friendship lens, horrible take.
I understand. No, but it's actually a great take if you think about it like this.
I'm not thinking about it.
Think about it
anymore.
like this. The Yankees have been so damn good. And Cody Petit has been so damn good. Why rush Cole back? Not even rush. He's perfectly healthy. But in my dumb brain, I'm thinking to myself, Petit's been so good. Let's just keep pushing Cole a little bit back so he's so fresh for October. That's not a bad take. It really isn't. And it's a testament to the Yankees.
I love you. Really bad take.
All right, whatever. Go get yourself some Just Baseball merch. That'd be sick. It's in the episode description. And if you don't want to get any merch, that's okay, because you could leave a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. That's the best way to support this show. You want to get tickets? How about Game Time? Code Just Baseball. $20 off your first order. Go to the profile section, put in just code Just Baseball, $20 off on Game Time. BetMGM, code Just Baseball. First bet offer up to $1,500. Got a big guest this week coming on the show. We're not going to ruin it yet. Big guest on the show coming up this week, so stay tuned for that. For Jack McMullen, I am Peter Oppel. That was the Weekend Roundup. And with that, thank you, everybody.